What's up, guys? Today we're going over what I think should be the NBA's schedule for their 5 games on Christmas Day. They have those every single year. Thankfully, the tradition will continue because the NBA is coming back on December 22nd. So the 10 teams that play should be their second game of the season. I'm going over what should be the best schedule in the order of the games. And if you guys disagree with me, that's okay, but you're going to need to leave me in the comments. Leave me what you think should be the exact 5-game schedule with the time of the game and the matchup and include who's home, because that's fine if you disagree, but you got to come back because there's a little bit more that goes into it than you may think. Just a quick note, this video is being made before the really any off-season moves have been made. I just wanted to get this video out before the NBA schedule gets released. The season's a month and a half away. The schedule could be launched at any time. I don't know when it's coming, so I wanted to make sure I got this out before that, and I do expect it to be a quieter than average off-season. So in the first game of the day on Christmas, I want to see the Bucks visiting the Nets in Brooklyn at 12 o'clock on ESPN. Now, the first game of the day, a noon start, it's always at an East Coast team because they avoid AM starts. Always an East game. Last year, that was where the defending champion Toronto Raptors played their Christmas game, their only Christmas game that I could ever remember. And I think that this year, Bucks versus Nets would be perfect. A lot of the times, the NBA puts the Knicks on the 12 o'clock game. That was not the case last year, and hopefully it's not the case again this year. I think they're finally over that, so hopefully they stick with no Knicks. Putting the Knicks on the schedule would just completely weaken the Christmas Day schedule. Now, this would be an absolutely elite first game of the day on Christmas. For a 12 o'clock game, seeing maybe the best 2 teams in the Eastern Conference, the Bucks and Nets, go at it, that would be crazy for a noon game. KD taking on Giannis at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, keeping the tradition of Christmas Day basketball in New York City a thing. And in the afternoon, no Christmas Day basketball in New York City last year. To a lot of people's surprise, some people thought it would be Nets at Knicks in the first game of the day. But it turns out the NBA did the right thing, not putting either New York team on. Last year, both of them finished below 500. This year, we know the Nets are going to get on. I want to see them hosting the Bucks in the first game. KD versus Giannis, Kyrie's show that he always puts on. That would be such an elite first game of the day. For the Bucks, it would be their 3rd straight Christmas game, all on the road if this happens. And for the Nets, it would be their first Christmas game since 2013. They hosted the noon game on Christmas in their first 2 years in Brooklyn in 2012 and 13, and scored 76 and 78 points in those games respectively. Alright, so the 2:30 game, moving to ABC for, starting in the big middle of the day. This one might offer a bit of debate, but I have Mavs at the Rockets. Okay, so this one could be at either place, but the Rockets have seen more success. They're the ones that got past the first round last year. I think they do deserve to be home. They were not home last year on Christmas. They'll be home this year if this happens. I want to see these 2 Texas teams going at it. I think they're very evenly matched. In fact, the Mavs could actually be better as long as Porzingis is healthy by the start of the season. See Doncic going at it with Porzingis up against Harden and Westbrook. Wow. You have 3 top 15 players in the game right there. You have probably 4 top 30 players in basketball. And you have probably 2 top 10 for sure with Luka and Harden. If the Mavs get on Christmas Day, this would be their first Christmas game since 2011, the year after they won the title. And for the Rockets, as long as they get on, this will be the 7th time in 9 years for the Rockets. The Rockets have really been good for a while. It's kind of a shame that they haven't been able to bust through. I was just watching highlights today, man, reliving the days of Rockets and Warriors Game 7 in Houston. The Rockets up 15 on the Warriors in 2018, and they missed 27 straight threes. Sorry to bring that up, Rockets fans. To the centerpiece of the day, 5 o'clock game on ABC, we have the Celtics at the Heat. Okay, so an Eastern Conference Final rematch in South Beach, Florida, in Miami. A very closely competitive Eastern Conference Final. It's historically a bit of a rivalry, the Celtics and the Heat. Definitely expect the Heat to be the home team, being that they were the ones that won. Usually it is a privilege to get to host the Christmas game, even more than just play on Christmas game. Because, hey, you beat the Celtics, you get to be home on Christmas. These 2 teams both will definitely be on Christmas Day this year. What I'm not sure about is if they'll be playing each other, but for the Heat, this is going to be their first time since 2015 on Christmas Day. For the Celtics, the last time they haven't had a Christmas game was 2015. This is going to be their 5th straight year. Okay, guys, here's where it gets interesting. The 2 night games. All right, where do I have us going for the 8 o'clock big game that's on ABC and ESPN with Mike Breen? Oh boy, it's a big game every year. I'm going to go Warriors at Lakers in LA. The Lakers are going to be a home team for Christmas for sure, and I'm definitely sure it's going to be in the 8 o'clock game as well. Would be surprised if it's not. They've been on the 8 o'clock game both of the 2 years LeBron's been in LA, and I have it happening for a third straight year. Title defending teams always get a home game on Christmas. Look at this. This is basically a reverse of 2 years ago, 2018 Christmas, when the Lakers were the underdogs visiting the Dynasty Warriors. Despite LeBron getting hurt in that game, the underdog Lakers just casually won by 26 on the road on Christmas night. It's very easy to just say Clippers, Lakers again, and hey, that might happen, and it would be a big game again. But I think there's just a lot more intrigue by mixing it up from last year, not doing, because then you would have to mix around the other stuff as well. You would have to say, like, either put the Warriors, who people are very excited to play, you would have to either put them in the late game or put them against the Rockets, which you could do, but that would force that to be Clippers, Lakers, and Rockets, Warriors for a second straight year. I just think it's better to mix it up, get the Warriors visiting the Lakers in a game everyone will be watching for sure. The Warriors dynasty may not have started 8 years ago, but they have been good for a while. This is going to be their 8th straight year playing on Christmas Day. Oh my god, am I excited to see the Warriors be good again. And the Lakers, they've been a staple on Christmas Day. See that pun, Staples Center. But yeah, they've played like every year of my life on Christmas Day. When they were bad, they were just playing in the 10:30 game every year on Christmas Day, typically against the Clippers, just a random LA rivalry. Just West Coast. Not many people cared. Well, people cared about the Clippers, which I felt bad for the Clippers. During those good days of the Clippers that they were just never able to break through to the finals, they were stuck playing the Lakers in the late game every year on Christmas rather than getting a big midday game on Christmas. Yeah, I'm going Warriors, Lakers, 8 o'clock Christmas game. What do you guys say? So that leaves us to the 10:30 game, and you guys might know what it will be, just using some context clues. Well, I'm going to go with the Clippers at the Nuggets in Denver. Rematch of the second round upset last year. Clippers big favorites, was going fine as you expected at first, 3-1 Clippers, and then boom, the Nuggets come back and win the series, winning by like 20 on the road in game 7 on the road. It was in the stinking bubble. This would be a very good late game. Usually you have like good teams, but like small market teams that like, all right, they're good. Usually they'll be in competition for the second round. Last year was like Pelicans, who didn't even make the playoffs, and they didn't have Zion for that game, visiting the Nuggets. 2 years ago, it was a good it was a good Trailblazers Jazz late game in 2018. This year, if it's Clippers at Nuggets, a lot of people will be staying up late on Christmas. Now, I definitely have Nuggets as the home team because you can't have 2 night games in one day at Staples, obviously. And also, on top of that, it's just better to have the Nuggets home. Gives them a better chance to win the game, more difficulty on the Clippers, and the Nuggets deserve it. They won the series against the Clippers. They definitely deserve a home game on Christmas. I would be shocked if it's anyone other than the Nuggets hosting the 10:30 game. For the Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the LA Clippers, this would be their 9th time in 10 years on Christmas Day. As I mentioned, a lot because of all those late games against the Lakers. But yeah, the Clippers have been good for a while. And the Nuggets, it would be their 2nd straight year hosting the late game. I fully expect these two to both be on Christmas Day. So again, guys, comment below, leave a like on this video though, by the way. That's your best way to support this channel, this underrated channel. But comment below your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you agree? Tell me like, yo, good job with this schedule. Or be like, offer up a better schedule if you want. So I asked my brother the other day about the schedule that I had made up. Things that he would have done differently than me. He would have had Rockets, Warriors. He would have had Clippers, Lakers again. He would have shifted the Mavs to the late game against the Nuggets. But he agreed with me on the 10 teams that would be on. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the teams that kind of got snubbed off of here. Or at least you can make an argument that they got snubbed. In my opinion, I have the right schedule. Well, the Knicks fans, probably want to get on again. And it's understandable. New York City, MSG, beautiful way to start the day usually. But come on, nobody wants to watch the Knicks. Like, beautiful environment is one thing, but quality basketball just should be the determining factor. You could say the Raptors, you can make a little case just because they are still very good, still a recent title team, but hey, NBA does usually try and avoid the Canada team due to revenue, and I just think there's not a better matchup that would fit the Raptors anyway. The Utah Jazz, if you mix things around a little, you could come up with a scenario where you could have Jazz and the Nuggets in the late game in Denver to rematch that incredible first round matchup. And definitely Philadelphia. A lot of people would probably expect them to get on again. They would probably be that 5th Eastern team. If I had any East teams going up against a West team, they would probably be a team that would get on in the East if I had one more. But I just don't think they really would make any better matchups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow the Instagram at neverquidney_. Check out my recent video, if you like baseball, my MLB free agency predictions, my top 10 hats in all of baseball, and we have a lot more content coming. Basketball, I'm very excited for you, although it won't quite be the same without fans, or it won't be a lot of fans. It will be better than the bubble. But yeah, the last couple of days I've just been remembering how much I loved NBA when there's colorful courts, which will have raucous crowds, which we won't have yet. Bye.